Hey, everybody. Great to see you all, even though I can't see you. It's nice to be back. Back doing lives, back at it, back working with mamas to help them grow their businesses. So I was away last week. I took some time for me, which is the first time in a really, really long time. Um, and it was really needed and very rewarding. So today I just want to do a couple things. I want to touch on a little bit about my retreat last week, and then I want to talk about forgiveness because that's something that we spent a lot of time on last week, and I didn't quite know how important and profound it could be. So about where I was last week, because I just kind of disappeared. I went to 40 Years of Zen. So for those of you that haven't heard of this, it's a Dave Asprey intensive training. It is in Kenmore, just outside Seattle, Washington. And essentially, I spent 5 days training my brain to be in an alpha brainwave state and some gamma brainwave states, and training connections in my brain to help me release past patterns that weren't serving me and create new patterns that would serve me, and move through blocks and really get to the heart of who I was and what I wanted my life to be about. And so one of the things that we talked about was forgiveness. And I always knew a little bit about forgiveness, and I had always spoken with my clients and friends and family about the importance of forgiveness. And I knew it was a hard thing for a lot of us to get around, because it feels like forgiveness is like letting go, forgetting, releasing the other person who hurt us or who did something wrong. But what I learned last week and what I felt doing the work was just how important it is to forgive and let go, move on. One important thing to note, and this is reinforced in the Book of Joy by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, forgiveness isn't about condoning the act of another. Forgiveness isn't about saying that what somebody did was right or wrong. Forgiveness is about letting go of the negative energy and hurt feelings that we carry around about an act. And one thing I realized is I was carrying around stuff from like years ago. I mean, years, like 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. There was stuff that I was carrying around that I didn't really think bothered me, but would come up in conversation, and clearly they had some traumatic impact on my subconscious that shaped how I viewed things going forward. So when I went through and worked on some of the different processes we worked through, and worked on the forgiveness, the interesting thing was first we got to visualize the person, and we got to charge them with all of the crimes that we viewed them as having committed, whether it was abandonment, neglect, abuse. Sorry, trigger warning. I might talk about some things that might upset, hurt, or really hurt some people. Just anything that we felt someone had done either to us or done that caused us pain or suffering. You got to actually charge the person with it. So you sat there and you visualized and you looked at them and you charged them with all these things. And then the next step was to find the gift, right? Find the gift in the occurrence. And that can be where a lot of us get stuck, because it can be very hard to find a gift in a tragedy. Very hard. And we had there were a lot of people there that had some tragedies. And it can be hard to find the gift. And sometimes the gift isn't what you think it is, right? Like you might say, well, I'd love to say that from, this friend that didn't, respect me, that I learned how to respect myself and commanded respect going forward. But truthfully, I didn't. And that can be tricky. So what else could you have learned from it? Maybe, it can be anything. It really can. It's hard to say what gift you're going to find from your experiences. But once you find the gift, then the next step is to forgive the person through to love. So you're to forgive them until you can love them. And let me tell you, that can be hard. Very hard. But also so freeing, because when you let go of that negative energy, that hate, that anger, that fear, that all of this stuff, when you let that go, it changes how you interact with people, how you see the world, how you feel about yourself, because you're not carrying that around anymore. And now that you've let it go, your subconscious mind isn't constantly comparing everything that happens in your life to that occurrence and using that as, a reference point to gauge whether new situations are good or bad, right? Because as we've talked about before, when we're going into new situations, whether it be launching a business, speaking with a client, selling, working with a partner, doing anything new, raising our children, that's constantly new. When we face these experiences, our mind, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind will tap into previous experiences to form opinions about things. So when it's tapping into those previous experiences, if it's seeing fear and shame and guilt and rage and hurt, and anger and disappointment and sadness and all of these negative emotions, and that's how you're viewing the future through, everything's scary and everything looks impossible. But when we can clear ourselves of these lenses by forgiveness, then we don't see the world that way anymore. And we're able to see things differently. And it doesn't mean that life just immediately changes. It just means that, there's a shift, and little shifts every day can add up to monumental change if we're willing to do it. The other thing forgiveness does for us is it allows us to be free of the negative energy, break cycles, right? So if I'm this type of person, if we're the type of people that I used to be, push people away when they get too close because we view the lenses of our relationships through past experiences where the people we loved, trusted, and counted on abandoned us in some way, then we're always going to be pushing people away, even the people who really, really, really love us, or the clients who really, really want to work with us, or the mentors who really, really want to help us, right? Because we're afraid that they're going to leave us and disappoint us. And when you free your body of all this toxic energy that you're carrying around of resentment, guilt, shame, sadness, fear, anger, rage, apathy, when you free your body of all these negative energies, then your body gets to be healthier too, because your body stores things, memories through emotions in it that you're not ready to deal with yet. So a lot of our illness or dis-ease can come from these stored negative emotions. When you free yourself from them, you free your body up for health and wellness. Why am I going on about this in a group dedicated to helping moms create and grow businesses? Because I think we as moms have an opportunity to not only do the work to help ourselves, but also to help our children, right? If we can free ourselves of our negative cycles and release our, patterns and lenses that aren't serving us, we can teach our children to do the same. We can also then see the best in ourselves and our clients, and we can have a positive impact on the world. And it really just starts with one, right? If you just shine a little brighter because you let go of something, if you see the potential in somebody because you let go of something, if you keep your cool a little longer, think a little harder, do something a little bit differently, or even just radiate a little bit more joy because you've gone through a process of forgiveness, you start to change the world. And I think that we all want to change the world, whether in a small way or a big way. We all want to have an impact, and we all want to make a difference, even if it's just for ourselves and our families. We want to make a difference. And we do this by doing the internal work, right? That's the hard stuff. I will tell you, doing lives, selling, dancing around like a silly potato, doing anything is easy compared to doing the internal work, right? That's the stuff we run from. That's the stuff we push down inside, but that's also the stuff that stops us from succeeding at everything else. And so if we go and we start to do the hard work, then everything else just gets easier, right? So 40 Years of Zen, if you haven't heard of it, I'd highly recommend it. I loved it. It was, and I don't say this lightly, it was quite literally life-changing. Like it was mind-blowing. So yeah, some updates. If you've hung on this long, and thanks for hanging on. So we've got some cool stuff happening, right? We've got the TV show is out now. If you are interested in being on the TV show, hit me up. Let me know. We have a few more unpaid spots available, and then we are going to be making them paid for the month of July. I'm going to be running a promo on the paid appearances on the TV show. Podcast, if you'd like to be on the podcast, again, let me know. First issue of the magazine, hi there, is going to be coming out in the next month. That's exciting. And we've got Mom Magic, the anthology. Spots are filling up quickly. So if you want to be a part of this, hit me up, let me know. We can get you all the information. Let me tell you, I have been a part of 2 anthologies so far. And I've got more coming up. And the value you gain from being a part of something like that, working with like-minded women, networking, getting to meet them and their network, learning, growing, learning how to promote yourself, how to like capitalize on, your knowledge base is so amazing. And you make friendships for life. Like I've got women from the previous anthologies that I am still working with to this day, that I wouldn't have met otherwise. Right. And I've gained clients from it. I've gained, appearances on different podcasts, TV shows, things like that, because of this. So if you'd like one of the remaining spots in Mom Magic, let me know. Love to talk to you about it. And we are 2 days away from July, and that means we are 2 days away from halfway through the year. Let's make the rest of this year the best, because we've got work to do. The world needs more love, and it needs us. It needs moms out there making money, raising each other up, collaboration. Let's do this. Okay. So again, I'm happy to be back. I'd love to hear from you. If you have anything you'd like me to talk about in the lives, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and keep on keeping on, man. Remember, the woman you see when you look in the mirror is exactly what a successful entrepreneur looks like. So much love, guys. Have a great rest of your day.